Welcome back to another April Fool's Day prank. This one is for the year 2024. Now, you may not understand where the prank is. This one's a little more subtle. What I did in this video is I made a 2-pound sandwich and at the same time was talking about health. Well, when I wasn't distracted by all the different antics that were going on. And then I ate the 2-pound sandwich. So, I mean, it was kind of one of those things that's kind of like, is this guy serious? He really did eat a 2-pound sandwich after making the thing while talking about, health and fitness for boom operators and what we need to do to stay active. Anyway, I got very distracted, but the video is fun. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Sound speeds. Welcome to an episode of the Yet Unnamed podcast. We'll eventually name this thing, but for right now, we're going to call this Cooking with Alan because that's what this episode is I'm going to be showing you how to make one of my favorite sandwiches. Why? Because it gives me an opportunity to just kind of talk about things in general. I can talk about whatever comes to mind sound-wise while I make one of my favorite sandwiches, which I recently invented and have fallen in love with. And so I thought I would share this with you because, hey, might as well. I'm a sharing guy. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that occasionally I'll make something. Like I made Gollum juice in an episode. And then I also made, if you watched an episode of the old podcast, one of the old podcasts I did, I also made Zip Fizz gummies. Now, I've also eaten a few things on this channel. Like I soldered a cable while eating the world's hottest gummy bear. And that was fun, which took a long time because my body shut down. And then if you're a member of my Patreon or my YouTube channel membership, then you had a special video that you have available too, where I answer questions that were given to me by people and ate what is it called? The 5 spiciest peanuts in the world challenge or something like that. I just ate them. Anyway, that was fun. And anyway, so I did that. 13 million Scoville units, if I remember correctly, on the hottest one. But anyway, that is a different video. This one is a completely different video too. And so for starters, we're going to start off with one of my favorite things. Actually, I'll put this aside and it will come back to play later. But we're going to start off with, and yes, I know great value is not normally considered to be the greatest of quality, but I'll tell you, it's kind of hard to mess up bacon. This is 24 ounces of it as far as bacon goes. So I don't know if you can see, that's 24 ounces. And it's gonna be a lot of goodness there. So I've already lined my trays here, and we're gonna go ahead and just dive in. I should have probably prepared a little better on how to do things. But hey, so why am I gonna be talking about cooking in this episode? And well, because a lot of the times people who are boom operators will talk about fitness, and you'll hear people talking about, how important it is to maybe work out or stretch or something like that. And it's very important for you to remain fit. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to accomplish your job and be able to do things. Now, there's no question I have extra weight on me. I'm not considered to be one of these little twig boom operators that goes around weighing, 100 pounds soaking wet and somehow is still able to hold up a pole over their head with a Zeppelin on there. But, I'll tell you this also. In the past few months, I have gotten a lot lighter. I have actually lost over 60 pounds in the past few months. And some people might say, oh, well, go keto or go Atkins or go whatever. Aren't those the same thing? I think it used to be called the Atkins diet, and then people didn't like the word or calling it Atkins, so they said, oh, no, it was keto. Anyway, I don't know. There's different diets out there, I have my own diet, and I've been the same way my entire life, so why change now? We are going to basically take some bacon, and should maybe put this, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just going to put the bacon in there, and we're going to cook it. And it's going to be an awesome sandwich by the time we're all done with this. So let's go ahead and just start to get on into it. Now, some boom operators will, there's been a big push in recent years with regards to fitness and stretching and different things that boom operators can do. But people underestimate the importance of diet, because what people always say is, what goes in goes out too. But if you don't eat properly, garbage in, garbage out is what we always say on a computer. But the same thing holds true with a person. And when it comes down to eating, it's very important to eat things that are going to charge your body. Now, everybody's body is different. Some people are vegetarian, some people are vegan, some people like me are more carnivores. So you have to make sure that you do what your body feels it needs. And in my case, I've loved meat my entire life. As a matter of fact, I had, let's see, in what year was that? 2018, I think it was? No, 2017. I did what I called the 100 diet, which is basically what I did for the entire year. Is I would only eat 3 carbs per week, and that was, and it would be something like, I would eat, like a chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A. That would be one of my carbs for the week. Or I would have, something somewhere. You know what a carb is. But the 100, you might say, well, what does that have to do with 100? Well, that was what I would have carb-wise per week. But then I would also I would allow myself 100 sweet things throughout the year. That was basically it. So, and that way, the way that worked is I would have 5 free days that I could eat whatever I wanted to for 5 days. And then I would have, I think it was 10 free hours where whatever I wanted to eat for an hour, and it did not count against my carbs either now. So like if I was at free day, then it didn't count against my carbs. So if I, for example, decided that I was going to go to Red Lobster and I wanted to eat a mountain of the cheese biscuits. And then at the same exact time, I was going to have, a dessert. If I could eat it within an hour, we're good. I also went on a cruise that year. And I'll tell you, that was where I ended up going through a lot of those free days. Because if you end up going on a cruise, you know that basically one of the things they always do is they like to inflate you. They pump you up like the Michelin man full of food. So that is one of those things where you always have to be aware of that when you go on a cruise, that they love feeding you. And you will eat a lot. Unless you're extremely disciplined, which I'm not. So anyway, I went on this cruise and basically blew through a lot of my free hours and my free, no, I take that back. It wasn't 10, it was 15 free hours. So that way there was 80 treats. So basically I was allowed to have 80 desserts of some sort. So if I wanted to eat, a pack of M&Ms or something like that, then I would have that as one of my treats. If I wanted to have a Cheesecake Factory piece of cheesecake or something like that, that was one of my treats. Just it kind of depends on what I wanted to do and how I wanted to call it. But basically over the course of the year, I ended up making it to December and ended up exhausting. Now the punishment was if, because I competed, I should say competed in quotes, against a friend of mine doing this for a year. And my goal was to make it all the way through the entire year without exhausting it. But the punishment was if you were not able to, then you had to donate $100 to the charity of the other person's choosing. I think he chose, what was it? What was it? I forgot the charity he chose. But I remember they pestered me something fierce for the next couple of years. And I was just like, oh, it was Doctors Without Borders, I think it was. And I was just like, guys, I donated this for a friend. I actually donate to different charities. And, if that's your charity or something like that, don't take me as saying, don't donate to this charity. It's not good. Everybody donates to their own charities and stuff, and I'm no different. But my charity that I chose, which if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I'm a supporter of, is the Bikers Against Child Abuse. So I did that one. Here, I'm going to wash my hands real quick. So, gotta make sure I don't get my my uncooked pork products, into whatever I'm cooking, because then it would be what do they call it? Like it's a disease or something you can get if you do that. I don't know. Whatever. Pay me no mind. It's bad to eat uncooked meat. I think it is. Some people would say, oh, it's bad to cook meat in general, or eat meat in general. Well, whatever. I'm myself. I'm going to do things my own way. Anyway, so this is already preheated to 400 degrees, and we're going to throw the bacon in there. Now, I guess this is going to be fine the way it is. We're going to set the kind of a new place. I'm not familiar with it. 20 minutes. And door. What do you mean door? I'm not familiar with this. Step 2. What do you mean step 2? 20 minutes. Start. No, don't cook. What are you doing? Oh, timer. We're going to set it for 19 minutes and 40 seconds at this point. Actually, cancel. Timer, 19 minutes, 20 seconds. Because I'm sure I've chewed through 40 seconds in whatever that is. Whatever amount of time that was. So, anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. This thing distracted me. We could talk about distractions, but why bother doing that? I tell you what we'll do for right now, since I have my spoon right. I washed a spoon. It's bragging rights right there, isn't it? What am I doing? I don't know. I tell you what, I'm going to time lapse. Well, I don't need time. What am I saying? Time lapse. This isn't going to be a time. Oh, you know what I need to do is hood. Let's turn on the extractor fan. Is it literally venting right up? What is the point of an extractor fan? It sucks it up from here and shoots it right out the top here. So, I mean, you can see if it sucks up smoke, it's just going to shoot it into the ceiling of the, I don't even know. It's good to know. Oh, I remember what it is I was going to say. The temperature is 400 degrees, and I put it on there for 20 minutes. It's going to make it crispy to my liking. I don't like floppy bacon. It's like eating ham. It's just, you know, roll it into sushi. I don't like that. I like it crispy, where you could hold it out at the end and it goes completely flat. Now, this is also thin cut bacon. It's not that thick stuff, which is basically ham. People in you know, Europe and stuff, they're like, well, bacon. And bacon is basically ham the way you cook it. I'm sorry. It's basically just floppy, and I don't like that. So, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything all day. So here's something I recently learned from traveling around the country. If you are in a place that's low altitude, the tops on something like Pringles or chip bags, they will usually suck in more. There'll be more, suction. So like you see how the top is sucking in on this, but if you go to a place that's high altitude, then it sucks it outwards. So the air pressure on the inside actually is higher than it is outside. So it actually bulges out the top of Pringles and the little end will pop out. And then bags of chips will be like very hyper open. So that's kind of crazy. No, I'm not going to actually chew this in your ear. I'm going to eat these things and I'll be right back with you. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll do a real quick time lapse that you're looking at on the screen right now, showing from start to finish me eating these Pringles. So that was good. I'm no longer hungry because I ate the entire single portion size things of Pringles there. And the reason I mentioned the whole thing about the 100 diet that I went on, which was 80 desserts, or if I wanted to have an extra carb thing, that could count as a treat or whatever is what I call them basically as treats. And then that was 15 free hours throughout the year. And then it was 5 free days. Today is definitely a free day for me. I worked for 12 hours and then I went and got this food and then came here. Now, one of the reasons I got great value and I went by Walmart to grab this stuff is because the bacon was $6.92. And I'm actually going to put that on top of some bread, buttered bread at that. It's actually garlic bread. And it was on clearance for $1.39. So this is something that basically anybody can afford, is what I'm doing right here. If you want to, you can make this and this sandwich the way I'm going to make it and share it with people. You probably should, because some people would argue that this is multiple portions worth of food. We'll see. To me, it's in a single portion size on free days. I mean, normally, especially now, I mean, you don't lose 60 pounds in a few months by eating completely crazy. You got to be somewhat disciplined. And usually I am, but I occasionally will have free days, which is why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it. Oh, we have 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. So since we only have a few more minutes, it would be important for me to prep this the way it needs to be. So I'm going to put down a couple of pieces of, oh, come on, get on there. We have to have our paper towels because the goal here is to not have nearly as much grease as you might naturally have when dealing with bacon. So a minute left. All right, so this is ready. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and prep a few more of these. So that way they are ready to go when I need to grab them. Now I need to worry about camera angles. What I was thinking about is the sound. 26 seconds left. Oh, cool. This is from the last time I made this sandwich. I remembered having something that I used for, oh, there they are. I was like, I just made this sandwich recently. So I need to get ready to pull that thing out. So let's just do a quick and dirty wash. 4 seconds. Oh no. I know. We're going to get it clean. Get it. Dry hands. Open. Oh. Come on out. Ooh, look at the grease. You should go there. Oh no. That may sound like a smoke alarm to you. To me, it's the sound of lunch. Where is the thing? Oh. It's not fire. Is there another one? Oh. I was going to say, they're radio controlled, so they should talk to each other. Okay. So the smoke alarm goes off. You can remedy that sound issue by doing what I just did. You know, waft a tray thing at it. We're going to gently pat this to take out some of the grease. And without letting it sit for too long, because I have some more bacon over there, I'm going to take this right back over there and continue. To me, the container of bacon is just a single portion size. And sop up that grease. I mean, I guess it's okay. I'm going to reuse this and just continue to layer on my bacon. And we are done laying this out and spreading everything around. So I'm going to, once again, wash my hands. Now my hands are slippery. Before I put this back in the oven. It's not nearly as hot as it was. That's good. I don't want to fry my hands. All right, so let's see. I wish it could fit in there a little better, but you know what? It's gonna make just fine. It just did. All right. I'm gonna have to sanitize this entire counter. You can see that I actually recently made this sandwich. This is the bacon grease from the last time I made this sandwich. I don't know what you can cook in bacon grease. Is it like, I know that people always say, oh, cook it in bacon grease. It's gonna make it, there's nothing better. It's like, well, that's because bacon, there's like hardly anything better than bacon. Oh crap. I forgot to set the timer. How long has it been? 6 minutes? I don't know. I'll set it for 14. I just looked up at it, it was like 12:06, but the time's not going down. That's because it's the time. So I might as well continue with what I was talking about in nutrition regarding boom operators. A lot of the times what you got to keep in mind is that sound mixers can sit at their mixing console and snack and eat and whatever else all day long. If they have to run to the restroom or something like that, they say, hey, you sound utility, cover me. And they'll step away and run off to the restroom. But you got to keep in mind that sound utilities are sometimes booming. They're sometimes second booming. And so a boom operator has to be aware that they'll be maybe managing themselves and managing the other person as well as running the set. So a boom operator has to be someone that is always on set. If you need to be covered for a moment because you have to run to the restroom or something like that, usually you'd want to try to time that between takes. You don't want to end up having it be like right in the middle of a take where you say, hey, I need to go to the restroom, cover me. Sometimes I've known that to happen. I've even done that myself. As a boom operator, you don't want to rely on someone covering you on set. unless there's a medical reason or something like that. I mean, you can't just say, well, I'm going to take a phone call, step outside. I mean, you can if it's an easy scene and all it is just throwing a boom over. But a lot of the times booming is very active. It's something you have to be all over the place. So there may be a long setup on a feature where you're setting up for 2 hours. Then you can step out and make a phone call or whatever. But most of the time when you're a boom operator, you are on set actively watching things, the lighting, and talking to the camera operator as part of the rehearsal process and watching all this kind of stuff happen. And if you're not, you should be, because that's a very important aspect about being a boom operator. How are we doing on our time? 9 minutes and some odd seconds left until I'll check it. We'll see what happens. I have this weird vibe that if I mistime this, it's going to end up overly done, or it's going to be charred, or who knows, it may just be perfect. It's very important for you to understand as a boom operator that you have to understand your body. I mentioned this before. If you're a carnivore like me, believe it or not, if I eat a salad, my system will get thrown off. My system will start churning around. My stomach will start kind of like, what is this? If I eat meat, no problem. I could eat an entire burger and just be totally fine. When I was on the road, you only have 70 hours in a week you're allowed to work as a professional driver. And when you run out of that time, you'd have to shut down for 34 hours. So it's 24 hours plus a regular 10 hours off. And you would have to, that would reset your clock. So one of the things I would always do is do my shutdown at a place where I could get a burger. And usually that was a Wendy's. So I have the Wendy's app. And I would always get a Baconator, a triple Baconator, which is when there's 3 patties with layers of bacon in between there. So it was a lot of meat. I loved it. But there was a coupon they gave, which buy one Baconator, get another one free. I'm like, well, yeah, buddy, that's awesome. And then they said, would you like those to be doubles or triples? I'm like, oh, let's go triple, because that was a day off. And you know what? I ate it, I was fine, and I was happy, because eating meat makes me happy. And it doesn't matter how much meat it is, my body is going to be fine, at least as of right now. I don't. Let me knock on some wood, because I don't want to jinx myself. Keep in mind, I'm almost 50, and a lot of what you're seeing me do, like right now, making this sandwich, is the kind of stuff I would have done as a teenager. Actually, when I was a teenager, I had a really bad diet. I mean, you think this is crazy what I'm doing right now. Back when I was a teenager, I didn't eat anything healthy unless I was like forced to. It was almost like the equivalent of eating, like in Clockwork Orange, you know, holding his eyes open, making him watch stuff. It was almost that bad with me in eating healthy. Someone would say, you need to eat this meatloaf and green beans. No, I don't want it. And you got to eat it. And that was the only way that like, if you forced me to eat it. Except for holidays. Holidays I'd usually do something, but I was very active. I was in television at the time, even as a teenager. I got involved in public access television when I was 17. And I was doing that, and then I started doing videos, and I was making my own projects back then. I was actually, early projects were going back all the way until I was a preteen. Believe it or not, I started messing with a video camera. And I was a ham in front of the camera even before that. I have like 5 minutes left on the clock before I have to check it. Hopefully it's going to be good, because I don't want to end up having this bacon spoiled. This bacon is perfect. Like what I was talking about before, about being able to hold a piece of bacon out. Like here, this one is not very shiny. But if you, oh, no, 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 don't. I just dropped this piece of bacon in the sink. I don't like it watery like that. But bacon, you can't waste it. Let me try this again. If you don't break, see, if you could hold it out from the very end, and if I hold it at the very, very end, it's going to break because it is very thin. So let me not do that again. I don't want to end up risking it. I don't even know when the last time it is that this thing was cleaned. So that's the reason why I'm like, yikes, I don't want to eat anything that just fell into the sink, but it's bacon. Now it's watery bacon. Anyway, I did not want it to waste. So now this little crumb is an exception. Great Value is not a great brand as far as brands go. They do a good job of making generics of things, but it's very hard to mess up bacon. Great Value makes some products that, you know, yeah, will be very similar. Like if you like Thin Mints, but you don't want to spend $7 or $8, whatever it happens to be on a box of Thin Mints, you can get the Great Value. I think it's like $2.30, $2.29, something like that. You can buy their generic, like big old huge honking bag. It's basically, it tastes very similar to Thin Mints, but has a weird aftertaste because, you know, it's the Great Value brand. Anyway, so it's very, very similar. And if you put it in the freezer, it's kind of hard to tell the difference if you don't have very good taste buds like me. You know, I'm really glad that the bacon did not fall into this bin that collects the water. Because what I normally do, oh, that's good. Look at that, all that scum. You can tell that I just made this bacon sandwich a few days ago, and I need to clean this bin out. Instead of working 14 hours today, I was excited. I only had to work 12. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get one of those sandwiches. Today's my Friday also. So I decided it was gonna be a celebration day. I got off a little bit early, and I don't have to work for 2 days. So I went and grabbed stuff to make this sandwich. Oh, it's cooking away. I can't eyeball it very well. The bacon on that side looked like it was a little more well done than the other one. So it's the sound of lunch again. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. It's not a fire, it's lunch. You know what? You know what you really need to do, and I forgot to do this before we started this video, is I have hair nets. Because what you do, if you're gonna cook something like bacon, you put the hair net over the fire alarm. So that way you don't end up hearing the sound of lunch. Oh, geez. So, oh, I have this gut feeling it's gonna be overdone. Come on out. Come on out, buddy. You know what? I'm gonna put it in there a tad bit longer. Let's put it in there for another lunch. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Enough. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Why is it going off over there? Stop it, stop it, stop it. If you want to have your smoke alarm not go off when you are cooking something like lunch, then I'm glad I emptied that out. This is another hairnet. It looks almost like a garter that you would use for a wedding or something like that. But no, you just take one of these things and you throw it over the top of your smoke alarm. So that will stop it. Just don't forget to take it back off afterwards because it's a safety thing. Actually, you know what? Don't listen to me. Don't put a hairnet. I mean, like this, I say it's a hairnet. It's one of these plastic things. So the whole thing is like, it's not a net. What is this? A plastic? It collects your hair. It collects your hair. Oh, geez. Come here. Stop. Regardless, this is coming out now. Ooh, buddy. Okay. You know what? It's going to be fine. Because it's still cooking a little bit. And I'm going to reheat. Oh, no. Stop it. It's not fire. I tell you, it looks good. It's coming out a little floppier than I would like it to be. This is actually a little bit underdone. So I'm going to turn this back on, 400, and put this side in there for, let's say, another 2-3 minutes. Timer, 3 minutes. Man, shut up, shut up, shut up. Hearing that stuff is getting really old. And you know, like when they start to run out of battery, how it beeps to let you know it's out of battery? You don't have a loss of battery because it's hardwired to the house. You shouldn't be using the battery. Anyway, we tested the battery that came out of it. It's still like 9.2. So it's fine battery. For whatever reason, it was just beeping at us. So it just wanted to keep me up. So all I'm trying to do is sleep. This thing is almost done. But it has to just mess with you. Everything has to mess with you when you're cooking or whatever. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now, this is already preset to 400 degrees, but the garlic bread needs to be in there for 370 degrees, 375 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and set this again. Bake 375. Say start. And this particular garlic bread, it has to go in there for, it says do it in the bag for 7 to 9 minutes, and then take it out of the bag and put it directly on the rack for 3 to 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in there for, I'll put it in there for 8 minutes. And then I'll take it out and put it in for like 3. Oh, I got to take this out. Don't get distracted. Man, I hope it crisps up. Because it feels to me like it was in there for 20 minutes. I mean, I put it in there for what, 14 originally? And then I put it in there for an additional, what was it, few minutes? Something, I don't remember what it was. You know, they're always like, well, it's not done, put it in there for another 3 minutes or another 2 minutes. Well, if you take it out, it loses all of its heat, right? It loses, like, if you put it back in there, if it's like you put it in there for 20 minutes and it's perfect, you put it in there for 18 minutes and you take it out and look at it for a moment, then you have to put it back in. It's not gonna be like, oh, you put it in for 2 more minutes and it's gonna cook and be done and be perfect. To me, if it cools down, doesn't that mean you have to put it in there for like 3 or 4 or something like that, even more? This is done. This time I need to actually wash this. Oh yes. By the way, if you know what I can use bacon grease for, I have a lot of it and I keep a continuous supply of it and on hand. Okay. So this is now done being inside the bag. So I'm gonna take this out. Now it smells like plastic in here. Come on now, get in there. I'll put it in there for 3, no. Yeah, I'll just delay it for a moment. And then it should be done. You know, at this point, I think I can kill the extractor fan. That's so much better. Let me stop this. It's fine, whatever. Okay, stop you. Pull out, what do I put the bread on? I guess we'll pull out another one of these. You're gonna go on there. Ooh, look at that. It's steamy. So this is garlic bread. Doesn't it look yummy? It's garlic bread. You can see the garlic butter on there. The reason I'm using garlic bread for the sandwich is because it's already pre-buttered. It also has some flavor to it, and it's basically like a sub. I mean, it's not 12 inches, it's what, 15? Something like that? I don't know. But anyway, so this is kind of like a little bit of an oversized type size thing. Now remember, this is educational. This is an educational video, and I like to eat things that will work well with my system. I don't know how it turns out looking on camera, but you know, that's good. That's good crispiness. That is a good crispiness. And now if you made this at your house for anybody, you can call this a sound speed sandwich or whatever you want to call it. I know somebody's probably saying, oh, well, call it a heart attack. You know, don't call it a heart attack. This is too good for it to be a heart attack. Oh, even the bread. Because you see, when I took it out of the bag, it was a little on the floppy side. Look how high this thing is compared to my hand. I'm not going to make you listen to this because if there's one thing that really is annoying is when people eat on camera and in a video. The reason I use the garlic bread is because it is already buttered and it's already ready to go the way it is. It's the same stuff you would add to a sandwich if you made it normally. All I did is basically just added bacon to it. As weird as it may sound, I think it actually needs a little bit more moisture to it. There's not enough butter, garlic butter on the bread, so it ends up being a little on the dry side, and there's not enough grease on the bacon, you know, left to make it slide down your throat very easily, you know, if you're swallowing it. So that's the reason why I need to keep on drinking water. But anyway, that is a good sandwich. There's a reason I don't make those very often. And it's basically because it makes a big mess. I mean, there's stuff all over the place. There's only crumbs on here at this point. Now I have to rewash this and rewash that. It also takes a long time. So the return on the investment is not very good there. I feel great. As a matter of fact, normally I feel just fine after this. And it's actually pretty cost efficient because once you eat this sandwich one time, you're pretty much not going to want to eat for another day or two. Again, it's important to understand yourself and to know what your limits are, what your body does well with. Bacon is something that my body does well with. This particular sandwich tastes good, but to be completely honest, the garlic bread is not good enough to carry the bacon. Last time I made this sandwich, I used only a third of the garlic bread. And this time I decided to make the whole thing. And I think it was the flavor was better. The having a third of the garlic bread, I mean, it's not like it filled me up that much different. I mean, well, it did. But it's not like it was a huge deal, except that you had more concentration of bacon per garlic bread. And that flavor was better. So, there you go. Anyway, I mentioned this at the beginning of the shoot. And by taking ice cream out, this is actually frozen yogurt. By taking it out, when I did, it gets a little on the soft side. Soft serve yogurt, ha ha ha. Anyway, the reason I did that though is because I have hypersensitive teeth. And if I eat this for dessert and it's frozen solid, like it is when it first comes out of the freezer, then it is extremely difficult for me to eat. So right now it's very soft. And yeah, I'm just going to completely dive in and tackle it. This is, 1.89 liters, half a gallon. Man, this is good ice cream. Technically frozen yogurt. Anyway, I'm sure you don't want to hear me smack on this. So thanks for watching this episode of Sound Speeds. And be sure to tune in the future for more Cooking with Alan. Well, technically this is a podcast. The podcast episode. But anyway, yeah, so there you go. That's the video. Be sure to tune in the future for more episodes of this podcast. And as always, sound advice.
Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.